And again, that happened about a week into fall camp. So it's been still collaborative, still a group effort, but just leaning on Joey's experience in the play calling role.
And then is Ben, is it looked like he took a tough hit. Is that, a long-term thing? Do you hope to get him back? What's, his status, I guess?
He's obviously he'll be out this week, but week to week, and we don't anticipate it being long. But obviously, just like any injury, we got to see how he responds to treatment. But certainly not something we're anticipating being long term.
Teresa, go ahead.
Clark, in rebounding or trying to rebound from Saturday night, going on the road to Colorado State, what's the biggest challenge in trying to get improvement out of this group and making some fixes from areas that you saw on Saturday night?
You broke up there a little bit, Teresa, but I think that I got the gist of your question. There are big things and there are little things, right? And so there's certainly plenty of areas, small areas, that we can improve upon, specifically when it comes to the execution on offense. Those are things that we've already spent time on with the team. And really it's just, it's a kind of a nuanced understanding of playing within the structure that, I'm excited for these guys to come out and practice and, and to really be focused in those areas. To be specific, just, the how we're running routes, how we're adjusting routes, the reads we're making at the quarterback position, where we go with the ball, based off the box count, things that are fundamental that for one reason or another, we missed on Saturday. It was disruptive to us and our rhythm on offense. And so we've addressed those. That'll be where our focus and attention is through the week of preparation, just being really solid in our systems and our understanding. And that gives our team a better chance to play at its competitive best. There were some good things that we took from our performance, but obviously on the whole, we didn't get the result. And so we have to scrutinize the places where we broke down. As far as the bigger things, is just, as a program to focus on in the competitive moment, how we take the spirit, enthusiasm, energy that we have in training. That extends back to the weight room. And I think this is all part of the process of becoming a successful program and sustaining success. But these guys have learned how to work hard and work with energy and effort. Game day is a celebration of that. And, what we've talked about is just, I did not think that the performance lacked effort. I thought that they fought. And yet, I didn't feel like we represented, our full spirit and energy and enthusiasm on that sideline. And that is a remnant of just what has been, and something we have to break through as a program again for us to get to where, we're playing at our competitive best and truly representing ourselves and our potential on that field. For as good a job as East Tennessee State did, and we take our hat off to them. The disappointing thing is that we didn't show up and give them our best effort. So we got a lot to work on, but we've addressed it as a team, and now we put our focus on taking the meeting room to the practice field, and then taking preparation to performance.
Aria, go ahead.
Clark, I have two questions. So the first is, I'm wondering, a majority of the drives on Saturday did end in ETSU territory, but it was just that, the drives weren't getting finished. So is there anything that you're specifically targeting in terms of, finishing those drives? And then second of all, is the altitude a concern at all for you guys going into Colorado State? And are you doing anything to prepare for playing a game at such a high altitude?
I'll start with your second question and then answer the first. The altitude's a concern insofar as, it's an element in the game, within the game, that will require our attention. I think we're going to handle that on the front end and limit a little bit of our exposure and maybe some of the intensity of our day leading up to game day. It's a night game, so we have time that we'll spend in walkthrough setting prior to kickoff, and not wanting to overspend our energy early. The same goes into the warm up too, where you want to make sure you get what you need to be ready to play, but also don't want to overtax, because you want to have your energy reserves in the fourth quarter. and there's some other modalities that we're looking into just for the sideline as well. But I think that, we're looking essentially for, again, a 4-quarter effort. And, through my research and my understanding that, we should be able to accomplish that without going too far into making it a bigger deal than it is. And these guys are well conditioned. I thought that showed up on Saturday. And so, again, it'll be something we have to adjust to, but not something we anticipate disrupting our performance. As far as the offense, and again, this is going to be a little bit similar to my response to Teresa's question, but when you look at the offense in general, the two things that stand out is, one, we have to cease to self-sabotage drives. That's pre-snap penalties. That's a blown protection where we get a quarterback hit, and it wasn't a complex protection. That's taking ownership over those details. It's on go balls, stacking the defender to give more room for the ball to be thrown on our fades. Little things like that. Our quarterbacks on the inside fades, giving the receiver the one ball we threw on the inside fade that we gave the receiver a chance to catch it was the one to Chris Pierce there early, and it ended up in a sizable gain. So there are details within the execution that are going to allow for our offense to be more explosive. We design a post to Sept early in the game, and there are just little details at the top of that route where he can separate, accelerate, and we should have a chunk gain and maybe a touchdown. And so focusing on those details will allow us not to have to extend drives so far. But then when we do, and that's part of our design, it's about, avoiding the self-sabotage, avoiding those pre-snap penalties that derail progress, or the blown assignments that get us off schedule and force us into a long field goal or punt situation. And so just within that, answer, there's so much there that we can clean up. And rather than see that as, something that's a burden, that's our opportunity. And that's what we're excited to do this week, and to take a more detailed, execution plan into the game on Saturday.
Chris Lee, go ahead.
Hey, Clark, 2 questions. First of all, and sorry if I missed this, did you guys say what date and time you're arriving in Colorado? And second, have you named a starter at the quarterback position this week?
Yeah, Ken will start. He is our starter. Again, I would anticipate, at some point, Mike, again, having a chance to play. I mean, this is going to continue to be, finding that rhythm between the two and how we put pressure on the opponent. As far as when we're leaving, we're going Friday. We're not trying to spend more time in altitude. It's a thought process that it's not about so much adjusting; it's about limiting exposure that allows for optimal performance in those conditions over the course of a 4-quarter game. So we'll leave Friday, and we're actually going to come back on Sunday, just in an effort to not lose the sleep and the recovery, because we're flying back from a mountain time early Sunday morning.
Joe Rexrode, you got one?
Yeah, Clark, as you went through the film of this game, did anything jump out at you as especially surprising, either surprising compared to what you thought from the sideline, or what you thought of your team during camp?
I feel like there was a lot of the the issues we had, particularly offensively, were things that we'd experienced in our scrimmages, and they were things that we continue to work through. Look, I think it's an interesting learning experience for our program from this standpoint. We played a team that executed really well. They managed momentum in the game. They never lost confidence, and we never put enough pressure to where we were challenging their mindset. And so what happened is we get into a second half in a 4th-quarter game where our margin for error was so small. They were able to extend drives. They were limiting of possessions for us on offense. And when we made mistakes, they capitalized, and they made us pay for it. They played hard. They played physically. And so there's a lot to learn from that, but that is specifically the formula that we want to use in attacking our opposition. And so where we have to step back and get the learning and say, okay, where are the areas where we can apply more pressure? How do we extend those drives? How do we finish drives with touchdowns so that we can start to create a feeling of discomfort on the other sideline, and then be detailed and disciplined enough to capitalize on our opponent's mistakes late. You know, it's a hard learning experience, but it's one that we can take and apply moving forward. Look, I've said this before, winning's a skill, you know, winning is behavior, winning is belief. You know, you have to train to win. And we are in the process of discovering this as a program. You know, the opponent's not going to cooperate in a loss. You know, we got East Tennessee State's best shot. And, you know, our game wasn't on enough to handle that and counterpunch. And the moment where we needed to counterpunch, you know, it was this feeling of hesitancy because, you know, we're worried about what the scoreboard is telling us. And so there's a lot here that we have to work through as a program that is a part of our process. I mean, this is a part of our becoming a sustained competitive program that's going to win at the highest level. And it's a challenge, but it's also a great opportunity for us, and it's one that we're excited for.
All right, last one of the day from Robbie. Go ahead, Robbie.
Clark, you've talked quite a bit about, you know, kind of taking the fight, you know, to the other team a little bit more. Is there, you know, is the goal to be more aggressive on offense or open up the playbook at all, or is it really just the mindset thing?
You know, it's not, I would say neither, Robbie, because it's not just a mindset thing. You know, like our offense becomes more aggressive. And I guess what I was trying to say in response to Arya is our offense becomes more aggressive when, you know, we design the post and it's there when we accelerate out of the break and we put the ball in the money and we make the opponent pay. You know, the sack that was on Mike Wright in the fringe area there was a double move. You know, that's a double move that's going to go up and into the end zone, and we have a free hitter off the edge. We miss a protection. You know, so to me, opening up the playbook is a matter of maintaining, sustaining rhythm, and then having the chance to create explosive plays. And that's all in the base level design. You know, we aren't able to get to that point, or we weren't on Saturday because, you know, we were undercutting our momentum. And so we don't shift philosophy here. We don't all of a sudden say, well, that didn't work, you know, let's go on to the next. It's about finding the details that kept us from our optimal performance and not deviating from what we know to be true about our process, which is going to be consistent and it's going to be rhythmic. And we just, you know, we have to, as a program, as a staff and as players, take ownership over all the little details that go into winning, and winning's hard. But I think once we have those details manifest themselves on the field, what you're going to see is an offense that knows how to be explosive. It knows how to take what the defense is giving to them, and it can execute. And execution will lead to points. Points will lead to applied pressure on the opponent. And now we have a chance to do and to execute the vision we have as a program.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Good luck on Saturday.
Hey, thanks, guys. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.